Okay, I think it's live now. All right, y'all. So it looks like we've been live for 20 seconds already. So there we go. Just let Jamaican African Travelers back in real quick. All right, shalom, fam. Listen, let's go ahead and not waste too much time because we know people got things to do. So, without further ado, we want to welcome everybody to another Diaspora panel discussion. We have a few people on. We missing a few people. I just want to start off by saying that before we start anything, brother Conte couldn't make it because his sister was in a hit and run accident. So she is in critical condition right now. So he called. Well, he sent me a message and he asked that the panel say a prayer for his sister right now because she's going through surgery right now. So he working on getting him a flight, back from South Africa so he can go and visit his sister. So, Pastor Betty, we're gonna have you pray first, and then we can just say some prayers for his sister. And okay, y'all, let's go ahead and pray real quick.
First of all, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High Yahuwah for where we are right now in a position in health and strength to be able to pray for this young sister, that if it's His will, that her life be preserved, to give Him worship and honor. We want to pray for the entire family that are going through this ordeal with that young lady. Let His grace and mercy reside over her. Let no weapons formed against that family prosper on this day. We give the Most High Yahuwah all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory, and to cover her from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet. Up, May we bless the hands that are operating on her right now. When we pray for each and every nurse that's taking care of her right now. And we just trust in Him that He'll bring her through this ordeal healthy and safe and secure. All praise and honor to the Most High Yahuwah for this young lady's life right now. Hallelujah and hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Amen.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Okay. So y'all, hold on. We got somebody else trying to get in. So for the people that are watching live, we want to let you know that this panel was put together by a group of people who has done business and still doing business in Africa, and currently some people are trying to build new businesses. So we want to just go through a couple questions this evening and afternoon for some people, and just kind of highlight some things that we all may face, and some of the things that the panelists may go into that may resonate with you and may help you or guide and lead your journey. And you may even find somebody on the panel that you may even want to partner with or, do some business in Africa with. So it's important that we tell people our honest testimonies and share some struggles and things that we go through so that we can motivate and push other entrepreneurs. So this is an entrepreneur meeting, and if that's something that interests you and you plan to do business in Africa, this will probably be a group that you want to connect with. So, and for the people who want to be on the next panel, you can always shoot us an email at originjournal@gmail.com. That's in the description. And you can just let us know whenever you want to join. So tonight and this afternoon, we have Pastor Betty, Sister Betty. Y'all know her from many channels, speaking on her motivation and, bringing the word. And Sister Wanda, she is also very motivational. She is in Tanzania doing business. We got my brother Ben. I met Ben in Tanzania, but he is really he's based in South Africa. He's doing business in Zimbabwe as well. And my wife Stephanie, and she's also partnered with me doing business in Tanzania. Oh, and Pastor Betty's also doing business in Tanzania as well. And we got Jamaican African Travels. They have a farm or a shamba in Tanzania, and they also do consultation business. They also do help you step by step setting up your farm and assisting you with business consultations. And same with Sister Wanda, she also does business consultations and repatriation to Tanzania. So I'm gonna start with let's start with Sister Wanda. Sister Wanda, are you prepared to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry to put you. I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Sister Wanda. If you want to
No
first just talk about,
problem.
you can introduce yourself and you can talk about your business and what you do, and then I will get into the questions after that.
Okay. You kind of introduced me, but yes, everybody, my name is Wanda, and I did create a business here in Tanzania called Diaspora Connect. And that is also the name of my YouTube channel. I changed it to Diaspora Connect Tanzania. But it's a consultation business where when I came here, I've been here 4.5 years in Tanzania. And when I came, I was doing consultations. So I just actually made it a brick and mortar business in Tanzania. So it's consultations. I do travel and business consultations. I've been doing more business, trying to help people in the diaspora who want to do business, trying to walk them through the process that I went through in order to set it up. So that's kind of who I am.
Okay, that's
So
awesome. So if y'all are looking to get to Tanzania, y'all know y'all can reach out to Sister Wanda because she is also a good resource to tap into. I think a lot of us don't tap into the people that we need to tap into. Um, we kind of just do it too late. And y'all give me just a moment. I'm trying to pull. I swear the connection is always bad on the day that we're doing these panel discussions. All right. How about I let everyone introduce themselves as well, just to give me some time. I don't know why these people making all this noise. I'm sorry. Brother Ben, go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Okay, good evening. Can you hear me all?
Yeah, you can hear you real good, man.
So, hi, my name is Ben Gapare, a dual citizen, like Arthur said, of both South Africa and Zimbabwe. I'm an educationist, I'm an entrepreneur, and I also consult on the side. I'm running a couple of enterprises. One of them is in community development under the umbrella of the Ungovernable. So we call ourselves the Ungovernable because it's really informed by the political history of South Africa in the 1980s, transitioning into a democratic dispensation from apartheid that really spoke about how people need to organize for themselves, their own parks, their own communities, really evoke an entrepreneurial spirit because South Africa was in a state of ungovernability. So we call ourselves the ungovernable because we feel that this moment in our country's history, we're also dealing with issues around instability. We're dealing with issues of preparing for collapse. So we're really organizing with communities and making our own way and being self-sufficient. So one of our projects with Ungovernable are community gardens in our area, in which we're feeding people and being able to sustain yourself within the local environment. Outside of that, as an entrepreneur, I'm running my own solar business. Here we're talking about solar street lights, as well as floodlights, as well as energy-saving light bulbs. So if anyone is familiar with the history of South Africa or with our contemporary history, is that we had an energy crisis in South Africa. So that was one of like us trying just to think about ways in which we can be more innovative. So right now we distribute, but now we're going to move into areas around manufacturing as well as production, because we really feel that there's a gap there. And then I'm also, like I said, I'm a dual citizen of South Africa and Zimbabwe. So in Zimbabwe, I'm buying land currently. We're looking to start a farm. So that's something that we can talk about later on in the session. But that's just a brief introduction about who I am and what I do.
All right, that's awesome. All right. Sister Stephanie, you want to introduce yourself and kind of what you do?
Okay. My name is Stephanie, and I go under the name Soraya Michelle Overcomer. Um, Once moving to Tanzania with my, of course, husband, Arthur, we opened a travel business under Origin Janal Cafe and Juice Bar. which is what we were here in the States. But we transitioned, moved it over to Tanzania, and started our travel business, opened 3 Airbnbs. And yeah, and on the side for myself, I am a postpartum depression mom coach. And I just basically I coach moms through that have that are currently dealing with postpartum depression, and I coach them through it, basically how to get through it without having to doing it holistically, and without having to do the whole medicinal route. um, so yeah, so that's what I do.
Okay. And Pastor and Sister Betty, can you introduce yourself and tell us all the things that you do?
Shalom, family. Shalom, Mishkapa. Toda Abba. I'm Betty Bent, Sister Betty Bent, Pastor Betty Bent, your sister, your mother, your auntie. I'm all the above, and I'm all anything that you need me to be in your life right now, Hebrew family. That is what I'll be. My background is in education. I've been in education for 30 years now. I'm about to get ready to retire. I've owned 3 businesses, and I own a business now. I own a preschool, and I've been doing preschool for 27 years. So I've been a long-term entrepreneur. I help um, open up Origin and all juice bar and cafe and wine bar here in the States. Um, I'm a motivational speaker. If you ever needed me to speak for you, I'm here for that also. And I just like to be a total resource for anybody that needs it. And my most important thing that I'm doing now is on the continent of Africa in Tanzania. Um, because I know everybody has a channel now. Everybody is out there talking about what they're going to do, what they want to do. Until I see something solidify a community like everybody talk about doing, I'm really not about that whole community thing right now, even though we're working on it. It's within our immediate circle, because the ideal is to have a community, with our own little grocery stores, with our own little fruit shops, with our own vegetable gardens, and producing and making things for ourselves and being prepared for the collapse when it happens, that you absolutely have a sustainable life prepared, at least working on a sustainable life to be on the continent and on your own land. I want to get us ready. I want us as a community, as the diaspora, to actually be ready for what is coming today. So I pray to the Most High Yahuwah that we as a community, that we continue to tighten our bonds as tight as we can to be there for each other. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. All right, fam. Y'all kind of know what I do. I'm also a business partner. You might as well say I'm a business consultant now. I haven't really given myself that title, but I might as well take it. So, what we're doing now in East Africa is kind of setting up our travel business, and also we're setting up some new businesses as far as like getting into construction and a little bit of real estate. So that's some new things that you will see in the future, fam. We ain't really ready to introduce all that yet, but we're gonna get right back to in the questions. I wanted to let Jamaican African Travels introduce themselves, but I think they're having some connection issues. So we'll come back to their introduction. So Sister Wanda, this first question is for you. So what unique opportunities and challenges have you encountered as a diaspora entrepreneur in Africa? And how have you navigated them?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you good.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where to begin. Okay. Oh my goodness. First of all, the language barrier, of course, is the first challenge that I had doing business, especially doing business. That was a challenge, but I was able to meet the right people. So, and also being a female is a challenge to do business in a patriarchal society. So, foreigner, female, don't speak the language. Those were 3 obstacles that I had to overcome. And with the Most High's help, he showed me basically his spirit, his set apart spirit kind of led me to the right people, because I was like in prayer and asking him to show me, what to do and how to do it. And so I ended up meeting some really good brothers who spoke for me. So that dealt with the language barrier. So they spoke for me to get some things accomplished, as well as my partners in business. I met them through Uber driving, through the Uber, because when we use the Uber app to ride around, and I met them through that app. And they told me if I ever wanted to create a business, they would be willing to be partners with me.
Okay.
And so I remembered that. So that helped me, because I remembered that. And I actually was able to screen them because they were my drivers. So I watched when they took me places, and how much I was charged and everything. I knew when I wanted to create a business who my partners would be, based on integrity, based on watching them. I think I rode with them for a good year before I even created my business. I got here in 2020, and I created the business in 21, at the end of 21. Well, middle of 21. So I had time to spend around them to check the integrity level. And so one of my partners knew the attorney who was his cousin. And so he was like, everything was lined up. And my business got registered in like 2 weeks. So as far as the language barrier, it's still there. But if you meet the right people and connect with the right local, that's the goal, is to meet with locals that, connect with locals that have integrity, that you have been, vetting, kind of spending time with them, seeing just how they do little stuff for you, to vet them yourself, to see if you wanted to work with them, if you could trust them. And so kind of sort of that was my obstacle that I overcame. So I was able to go ahead and get it registered within 2 weeks. A lot of people were kind of saying it took them they were having a hard time, but mine went through in 2 weeks. But I feel like by the grace of the Most High, he kind of led me to the right people. So prayer is very important, and that's what helped me overcome. And even now, as a business owner, because I know Swahili, but I don't speak it fluently. So even now, I still need to get them to go. I still need to get my partners to handle business for me, but I just tell them what to do. Sometimes I go and I won't speak. They'll do all the talking. And so in this country, it's normal for the women to let the men handle the business anyway. So it was fine with me. They were doing exactly what they do here. I didn't, even though I'm the boss, I just relaxed and they handle everything. But I'm right there watching and listening to everything. So yeah.
Okay. So that's good. So connecting with locals, definitely prayer, and definitely just trying to create some partnership with people. That's I feel like we all gonna relate to that one too. All right, so we're gonna go to Brother Ben. Brother Ben, I'm gonna pose the same question. So what unique opportunities and challenges have you encountered as a diaspora entrepreneur in Africa, and how have you navigated them? Let me see. All right.
Thank you very much, Arthur. It's
go.
good to see you. I think I first met this man in Tanzania, and that's a good place to start. Yeah, I think that's a good place to start. I think we met in Tanzania at a time in which I had been like a career educationist for about 13, 14 years. I had worked in higher education / tertiary education in South Africa. And I had gone to Tanzania because I felt that I needed to change and I needed to see and explore other opportunities within entrepreneurship as just a sector, a field, a domain. One of the biggest things, I think, for me, the first thing, I think there are 3 things that I jotted down, but the first thing is, I think, the distinction between the informal parallel economy and the formal economy. Because I think most of the time when we are working in Africa, one of the things that happens is because you're trained in a particular field or domain or discipline, you feel that everything is formalized, right? Most people are talking about tax, most people are talking about finance. But what you tend to find in Africa, for example, is that We have rampant unemployment. I think in South Africa, where I'm based, 60% of youths are unemployed. And when we say youth in South Africa, we're talking from 18 to 35. Of those 60%, about 80% will never get work. And in a context like South Africa, we're the most unequal society in the world, simply because of apartheid. And so the distinction in terms of how people survive is actually quite interesting. So in South African context, 50% of our households in the country receive social grants. They receive welfare because of the poverty gap and the inequalities that were caused by our history. So one of the things is there was just a realization, because I had always been in the formal economy, that there is another parallel informal economy where people actually survive. It has its own rules. It operates outside tax structures. And these are how we interact with people. So when I went to Tanzania, it was absolutely shocking, because although we're the most unequal society in the world, I also found like 80% of people don't finish primary school. So the first thing that dawned on me was this thing of the informal parallel economy, how it operates, and how people start to organize themselves around that particular. So that was one of the biggest challenges I had to grapple and just really like orientate myself around. And I think the most beautiful thing about that, though, is that there are opportunities, because there's so many problems on the continent. And so that's the first thing. The second thing was something that was also challenging, was like a distinction between skilled and educated entrepreneurs versus survivalist, unskilled entrepreneurs. So there was something interesting happening, and I picked that up also in Zimbabwe, where people with no formal education, no formal qualification, seem to understand the system, the informal sector, how to service clients, and. And what you found is that people who are educated and skilled are sending through their CVs, and ultimately are being employed by people who are entrepreneurial just innately, because they just work in the environment, they understand the context. But also, I think what is important is that the language and the worldview is completely different. So you sit in universities, like I sat in universities close to PhD level, you think you understand these concepts, but on the ground, there was a huge detach. And I think when we start talking about issues around corruption, because that's the first default word that you use, corruption, but actually people are surviving, right? They're using their own local forms and ways of navigating very complicated realities about their poverty, the inequalities, and things that are taking place. So that, I think, that was also important. And I think the last thing was liquidity, liquidity in business, cash flow, and ideas around, do you take a loan? I personally am adverse to loans. I don't take loans. So I think also, if you choose that path, in terms of being a self-funding, sustainable business in which you can run your business quite independently, you realize it takes longer. You need to build capital. You need to build solid community. You also need to build solid structures, different models, systems, and procedures in terms of how you accumulate and run a business. So I think for me, I was really influenced with the informal economy, the parallel economy that doesn't pay tax, that is on the street, that is constantly looking at problems, constantly looking at solutions and providing to problems. And I think that's what's informed my entrepreneurial journey. So those are the challenges. But also, I think as we get further in this discussion, I'll talk about the opportunities based on some of the challenges I experienced.
Okay, man, that's big. I know we, the people who have done business in Tanzania, we understand that like deeply. Like it's two different worlds when it comes to how the country should be governed and how some local entrepreneurs govern. They just make up rules as they go, and it's like the same across the board. They all work in the same way. So we dealing with that now, dealing with contractors. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's like it need to be two countries within one, or two different governments within one country. All right, so Jamaican African Travels, Mr. Clyde and Miss Maria, y'all didn't get a chance to introduce yourselves again. I don't know if you're set to go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll go ahead and ask you question number one.
I am Maria, and this is my husband, Claude, and we are Jamaicans, and We've been living in Tanzania for the last 3 years and 2 months. And right now we do have a sustainable farm, and that is primarily our business that we have here.
Okay. I bigged y'all up on some consultations. Y'all know why you ain't bigging up yourself on consultations? So they have done so many consultations for people who have gone through different issues in Tanzania. They just like that saving grace, the Most High kind of put them in place to help a lot of people. They helped us because we were in some tight situations, and Ben don't even know the half of it because I was going through so much. I ain't even get to tell a lot of people because we were running, trying to get everything done. But Mr. Clyde and Miss Maria definitely, guided us through a lot of obstacles. So, all right, let me just go ahead and pose the first question. I know they're going to, have more to say. So, what unique opportunities and challenges have you encountered as a diaspora in Africa? And, how have you navigated them?
You want to go ahead, Claude?
You go.
Some of the unique, well, let's go to the opportunities first. We do a sustainable living farm, and that's unique in itself because not only are we working towards living sustainable, but we also provide a product to the society and community at large. Having a sustainable farm is unique in itself because we have experimented with different products or different avenues of farming, which we have never had to do before. So it has been challenging trying to maneuver and navigate to do exactly it's challenging trying to navigate dealing with getting our products to market. It's I'm stuttering here for words.
It's like when you come into a new environment, the challenging because of the language and the way how they do business, especially like when they work for you, they want to turn up to work whenever they feel like. And sometimes they want 3/4 of the money before they even start to work. So it's kind of frustrating because you don't used to those things over anyway. So I have this funny working for me because sometimes you cannot change them, but if they work from you for you, you can tell them the way how you need things to done, like how you used to it anyway. So
Okay, hold on, y'all. I think we lost them. I think their sound was kind of off a little bit. So yeah, let's give them a chance to come back. And Sister Evelyn, I know you just got on. You want to introduce yourself real quick and then tell everybody what you do. What anything you want to share when you introduce yourself.
Okay. Can you guys hear me clearly?
It's kind of robotic just a little bit, but keep talking. Let's see if it get better.
Okay. So my family and I moved here now about 4 years ago. I think when a lot of us moved here, does it still sound kind of
Yeah, it still sound kind of robotic, and I think it's
okay?
something in Tanzania that's going on right now. Except Sister Wanda been good.
Okay, let me come out and go back in.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cloud and Miss Maria, y'all want to add more to number one? I know y'all got cut off.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're having technical challenges here, so we're in and out, popping
Okay, you
in and
sound
out.
good though right now though.
Okay, thank you. So Claude was saying, I'm sorry.
no, I was saying some of the challenge with the people you have working for you. So they want to turn up to work when they feel like, so you have to get serious and let them know this is not how you used to it. So I have one fundi that I have to send him home one morning, and from that he start to show up early. And right now when he come to work, he just finish the work and then he go home. Well, another thing with the business, when we first came here, we do passion as our main source of farming. We didn't have any experience in it, and we didn't have any market. We harvest the first sets of passion, we have to put it in our car and drive around and look market. And now we have more demand than how we can supply the market now. So when you come to new places, you just have to do things and establish yourself, and then from there you can move ahead.
Okay. So that's definitely, you say, y'all have a big demand. So I know that's another opportunity. So
Yeah.
passion and, producing food is definitely, in demand. So for the people who do want to come and do farming or they want to grow, you find that need, and then you got to get it, a good marketing strategy. So I'm trying to think who I was talking to just the other day, and they were telling me that, and that might have been Sister Evelyn. We was talking about having that online presence or being able to market yourself in certain regions, because sometimes you don't have that connection, to connect with certain people online. But I found it very interesting how in Tanzania they had they have some businesses that got like millions of followers online. You know, I don't know. Somebody has a noise that's going. Hold on, let me see. Some people has it, have a big online presence, and it's crazy to see that just some local business has like millions of followers. Like, how can we tap into getting that online presence where we have even the younger generation following, what we're doing? So I think Tanzania and I know different African countries have that, online presence and you can market. But, I think that's a big barrier. And I'm already answering the question for number one, but I don't know if Sister Betty is willing. So I'm gonna pose that same question to myself. Um, some of the unique challenges or opportunities that I found being in Tanzania is, I would say, opportunities first is real estate, transportation, and me and Ben even talked about this transportation aspect a few times, and also construction and that manual labor aspect. Like if you do any kind of contracting or any kind of building or even clearing land, if you had equipment, you could really take over the game and really help a lot of people, because it is a lot of people clearing their land, developing their land, and getting it ready. Like even in the town areas, you know, even like right outside of Dar, like Bagamoya, like right when you get to that roundabout, it's so much development happening on just in just that area. So one thing I know, if you get a good company set up to where you can have the equipment and get two people on time and do the work, I mean, you're just gonna do a lot better, especially with foreigners. I'm just saying for foreigners, but I feel like opportunities in those sectors are definitely there. Now, challenges, I'm only going to say two challenges because I can give a list of 10. So, two main challenges I noticed personally is, yes, I'll go with language, but I think it's also a little bit deeper than just language. It's just that integrity piece that you don't always find people that have that integrity for like just giving you correct information or keeping their word. I believe that your word bonds you. Biblically, we know that, you have to keep your word. Once you tell somebody you're gonna do something or you want to make that happen for them, you stick to it. But I noticed that in Tanzania, because it's the only country I've really been to in Africa, but they literally will tell you whatever you want to hear sometimes. And like Ben touched on those two different worlds, because they have a code. The local people who may not be properly trained, they have a code that they stick to as well by deceiving you sometimes. You may get some people who are just good, but a lot of times you just get deceived. And, now I would say another challenge is finding trusted legal representation or legal representation that is knowledgeable and that will tell you, I'm not experienced in that area. I can't help you, you know, grow your business. Sometimes I think that we get connected, not sometimes, we do get connected with the wrong legal representatives. And then we have to go and find somebody else to try to clean up the mess of another. So I was told by a Tanzanian lawyer that what the young and up and coming lawyers do, they will hustle and they will tell you they can do everything, and they'll even mess up your business setup just because they're trying to come up. They'll do whatever they'll overcharge you. They'll do whatever they have to do. So I would say the biggest thing is to look for a lawyer who's been doing it for 10 or 15 years, helping diaspora, because it's been diaspora coming to Africa and Tanzania and everywhere for years. So finding somebody that has experience. And I think that we just don't always do a good job of diaspora. We don't do a good job of that because we think that the legal system works the same way for everybody, but it doesn't. Again, what Ben said is true. Tanzania, the main government is a whole different world from some of the local people. They govern themselves and they kind of do their own thing. So yeah, navigating those is, I would say, connecting with people who have experience, like Mr. Cloud and Miss Maria, speaking to Sister Wanda, Sister Evelyn as well, and just having that counsel and just really praying and just, meditating, because if you don't stay focused, then you will get sidetracked because it's so many people pulling at you. I think that's the main thing I felt, in Tanzania, is I felt that I was being pulled in so many directions because you get so many different people telling you different things. You have to vet through all that, and that's a big culture shock for. I know that was for me and my wife. It was a big culture shock. Let me let Sister Evelyn back in, but yeah, that's my answer for number one. And if Sister Evelyn is back. All right, Sister Evelyn, you want to introduce yourself and
I'm
then
sorry. Oh, go ahead, Arthur.
no, you sound good. Your audio is good. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. So myself and my husband and our children, we moved here in I think it was 2020. We now officially have been here 4 years. And, so far we've hung in there. But I was listening to some of the things that you were mentioning. That to me, there is a few components that I wish I knew then that I can go ahead and give tips that I can give people now. Number one, take your time before you start any project, business, um, anything. Get to know the culture, get to know, have an understanding of the people. And number two, build relationships. I literally was just talking about this with another sister of mine who's also here in Morogoro. Build relationships. Everything here in Tanzania is relational. Who you know will get you what you need when you need it. And if you take the time to build those relationships, when an issue or a situation arises, you know exactly who to go to. They will take care of it and get the situation done or resolved for you. I know that's hard for us because I'm used to handling my own business. Get in the car, go to whatever office, fill out whatever paperwork, and the situation is handled. Not here. Build relationships. It will make things go a lot easier. Take your time before you start anything and meet people on your level that can get things done for you. Not that you can't be friends with everyone, but what I noticed with a lot of us, including myself, was that we made really good friends with our Bajaji drivers. Why? Or our picky drivers, because they're the ones that would take us everywhere, show us everything. But they're not the ones that can show you the right lawyer to go to, the right management to go to for whatever documents you need. They're not those people. They'll tell you they're those people. So you need to have you need to have relationships on every facet, if you get what I'm saying, of your life. So that's my 5 cents on that.
Okay. So I think you almost answered number one a little bit, but I'm asking anyways, and then you can add to. So, what unique opportunities and challenges have you encountered as a diaspora entrepreneur in Africa, and how have you navigated them?
Um, One, I realized really quickly that the people that I knew were the ones that could help me. So I purposed within myself to start to meet people of a certain affluence that could help me get things done. Case in point, the district commissioner is like maybe like the governor or mayor of whatever area you live in. Get to know them. They can solve a lot of problems for you. You know, get to know who they are. They can put you in touch with the right people to solve problems for you. So, we met at an event that was being hosted at a hotel, a grand opening for a hotel. And then when I had a situation, I was able to go speak with them again. And hey, I remember you. And that's how that conversation continued. So that's why I'm saying it's about building relationships. Um, Africa, well, I can't say Africa. Tanzania is very communal. So the more you can be communal, the easier it is for you to do businesses. Now, we of course have a small burger restaurant, very small but nice little cafe burger restaurant called Breakfast and Burgers here in Morogoro. Karibu, you're welcome. And we have a farm. And so those two businesses alone um, was a lot of work. There was a good amount of challenges. Huh. I'm trying to think of how. There's so many that I don't even know where to begin. But
Trust me, we
there was,
understand.
but there was a lot of good things that happened as well. Um, but until you're here on the ground and you start to partner up with people, good people, they can help you oversee those challenges. I'm trying to think of one in particular. Okay, perfect example. Recently, the neighbor next door, every year, most farmers light fires to their farms. Why? To drive out any snakes, rodents, all these, because in the farm, this is a reality where there's prey, there's predators. So to kind of clear the farm, start afresh, they burn. And that's all the farmers. Well, this year, the neighbor next door had a young man who was doing it, and he didn't know how to control the fire. Well, it came over into my farm and it burned up all the pipes that connected to the water, all the plastic piping, it burned it up on our farm. I was compensated by the owner, but due to the fact that we had a relationship with the owner next door, things went a lot smoother than what it could have went. Because it could have taken months to get those pipes, or I probably couldn't have got them at all. I would have had to replace them myself. But due to the relationship that we had with the neighbor next door, we fairly quickly we were, taken care of. But it's things like that. So
Okay,
it was a big challenge. Yeah.
that's good. All right, so we're going. I don't know if Sister Betty. All right, we'll just come back, Sister Betty. So, Sister Wanda, we back at you for question number two. So, many diasporas speak about the importance of shifting from a survival mindset to thrive to a thriving mindset. So, what strategies or mindset shifts have been essential for growth and understanding on the continent? And I know that question is kind of wordy. I'm sorry, but I
No,
can
that's
always.
okay.
Okay,
That's okay. I didn't give the first question. I just gave the challenges and I didn't give any
go ahead.
opportunities,
Yeah.
but we all know that, of course, food security, that's the main opportunity, I think, for all of us coming here, food security. We don't want India and only India and everybody else uh, uh, providing or food security coming up in here, controlling that industry or that part, them trying to come in. So we need to be farm minded like that, even though I don't plan on having a farm, but I do want like a garden. But food security is big. And also another small thing people can do to earn money is through like Alibaba. You can order, we don't have what you call it, Amazon and all that, but we got Alibaba. You can order stuff on Alibaba and have it delivered here in Tanzania. They deliver it
Oh,
right up, right.
I
They
didn't know that.
deliver
I
it
remember.
right
I
upstairs in
remember them.
Mikocheni. Yes,
Okay.
Mikocheni Shoppers, the plaza upstairs, there's a pickup spot. So you can order stuff on Alibaba and sell it here. So one thing I was thinking about is tool belts. Like, because a lot of the fundis don't have tool belts. They don't have tools, tool belts, nothing. And so that would be something good to purchase a few and just for making income until you get, in addition to your other business, you can be making income on different things that they might need here. Just look at what they might need. I've been seeing a lot of little things because I personally have hammer, a wrench, stuff like that we have in our house in the West. I bought that here. So when my fundi comes to fix my stuff, he needs to use my stuff. He needs to use my plunger. He got to use all my stuff for other people. So that would be something good to look into. Whatever they don't have here, like the little things, you can get some of those things on Alibaba and just sell them just for, to get a little bit more, generate some income until you get your business going. But anyway, let me get on number 2.
Okay. You want me to ask it again, or
Okay.
you good? Okay.
I'm reading it.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's
Go
see.
ahead. Sorry.
So the shift from a survival mindset to a thriving mindset, strategy. Go ahead. Go ahead, Coach. What you
Oh no,
say?
no, you good. I'm sorry. There might be some background noise or delayed.
Okay. Okay. So strategies. Let's see. You have to, like, I think like what Evelyn said, learn the culture, because if you come here and you're afraid because of the language barrier, or you're nervous because of the culture is different or it's not as developed, you have to change your mind in terms of those things. You have to have a mindset like, I'm coming here, I have an assignment, or I'm called to be here. So I have something I need to do. So at any means necessary, I will get this done. Not like you can change the environment, but you can work around. It's basically being open to learning new things, learning different ways to do business and different ways to do things, because they do things differently. So if you want to do any kind of business here, you have to be open in your mind, and you have to be accepting of the culture here. You might be without electricity. How you got to learn, watch them. They without electricity all the time. They cook outside. It's just ways that you can work around some issues instead of feeling like I can't survive. I mean, it's hard to survive because it's not as developed. There are things that you can do. It's your mindset that needs to change to where you're more open to learn from them. You teach them, but then they teach you as well. Sometimes you might have to go to them and be like, well, I want to do this. What way do you guys do it? For example, I was thinking about doing like a rental, right? So when I buy land, I'm thinking about doing like a little rental. So what I did was, I can't use the paperwork that you would use in America. I have to go get the paperwork I have to use the same paperwork that they use here. So the same paperwork that I signed a lease with at the place I'm staying at right now, that's the paperwork that I need to use when I decide to do my business. Or if I decide to rent places out, it has to be what they do. See, that's a change in mindset. You can't think, oh, I'm here and I'll use a lease that we use in America. That's not going to work here. You have to use the equipment and the tools that they have here to be able to be qualified to, and for them to look at your paperwork and be like, this is legitimate because this is what we use. So it's kind of like a mindset change in being more open to learning and changing your way that you did business in America. Like me, I didn't have a business in America. Some people say if you didn't do business in America, you can't survive here, but that's not true, because the fact that the matter is I haven't had a business, so I don't have nothing to compare. So when I'm doing business here in Tanzania, it's fresh for me. I don't have no set way of doing things in my mind. I'm learning. So it's a little easier for me to adjust to how they do business because I haven't done it. I think it's a little bit more difficult when you have had a business in America and then you come here and things are done totally different. It's hard to adjust to the way they do things, and you keep comparing it to in America, we're trying to be here, so we can't compare it to America. This is like a totally different place. So your mind got to be kind of like a clear slate. You have to have a clean slate in your mind when you want to do business. Have that mindset when you come here. Everything going out the window. I need to start fresh. I need to see how they do business. That's why Evelyn was saying, I agree with her. Take your time, get to know the culture, get to see how they do things. So when you decide, okay, I want to create a business, you already know the mindset of the people. You already know the poly. You already know you can't be rushing people. You're a woman, especially if you're a woman. You have to wait. You gotta wait. Like me, I gotta wait. I'm used to doing things in America, but I gotta wait here. I gotta wait for my brother to do it for me. I gotta call my brother Kaka, and he's like, tomorrow. So I have to wait. You gotta learn to wait. You can still get things done, but you gotta wait. I've been here for 4 years, and I'm just about to purchase land. 4 years. It took me that long because I didn't feel comfortable. I have to wait on my brothers to talk to people to the area. So you just got to have that mindset of being okay. Even the men being okay with waiting, because you can't speak the language. You need them to do it for you, but you have to direct them and you have to wait on them. So that's basically what I have to say about that.
Okay. All right, Ben, I'm going to pose the same question to you. So many diasporas speak about the importance of shifting from a survival mindset to a thriving mindset. What strategies or mindset shifts have been essential for growth and understanding on the continent?
Well, to be honest, Arthur, right? I think one of the things that's been happening with me has been definitely a shift from service-orientated economy to a manufacturing economy. I think one of the biggest things is that South Africa, where I'm based, there is a lot of service. Like the largest income generating industry in the country is the financial sector, but the financial sector doesn't create jobs in South Africa. And so what you find is that the mining sector, the percentage is low, and because in South Africa got a history of really rampant exploitation, because I think the country was built on really slave labor, you have a situation where that becomes a bit of a difficulty. So for me personally, like I did indicate earlier, I'm into a solar business. So I'm running a solar business. I'm running solar street lights, floodlights, energy saving light bulbs, because that's what happens. You know what I mean? You find yourself one moment there's electricity, the next moment there isn't. But one of the things was when I started off this business, obviously you're buying from China and you're importing from China and you've got Chinese suppliers, because the unit cost of bringing in the solar is much cheaper from the Chinese, as an example. But something fascinating happened to me. So I was at a show in Durban in South Africa, and I think this is where the shift happened. And someone came up, and I think I must have had about 100 boxes of solar lights. And someone who was a developer came up and said, I want 300 boxes. And immediately I was just like, what am I busy with? Am I busy with jokes here? Because clearly, am I running a business or what's happening here? Because I'm thinking that I'm really doing well with 100 boxes, but someone wants 300 boxes. And I think the shift happened right then, where I was like, okay, so clearly I need to move from service to manufacturing and production and a value chain, a pipeline. So I think for me, it's about controlling the pipeline and the value chain. It also happened in Tanzania. In Tanzania, I had a MacBook. I dropped my MacBook in Dar es Salaam, and then they had no parts. And again, it's this thing of like a pipeline, you know what I mean? In terms of like, you have a particular product, but it doesn't have a pipeline. And so that's something that I've really learned in terms of what I do. And it doesn't have to be rocket science. So one of the things now is like, okay, so I was like, okay, so I don't have an engineering background. So what's happening? Like, how do I now start manufacturing cheaper solar lights? And then the most extraordinary thing happened. Can everyone still hear me? I see Arthur just cut out. Is everyone still there? Yeah. So I think for me, something extraordinary that happened was that cool. So something extraordinary that happened was I just recently learned, I think maybe not recently, a couple of months ago. I think that's why there's been some movement there, that Iran, of all countries, manufactures, distributes, and transmits electricity the cheapest in the world. And their solar products per unit are cheaper to manufacture than somewhere like China. So I think for me, some of those things were quite interesting to learn. Even when you look at oil as an example, the manufacturing unit price of manufacturing oil for the Iranians is much cheaper. So I decided I wanted to go to Iran. And there was a weird thing that happened also was, so for example, with my solar components, especially the street lights, you have these motion sensors. And these motion sensors can detect when someone is in the vicinity. And so what happens is that when it detects someone's in the vicinity, the light goes on. And as they draw closer to where the unit is, it gets brighter and brighter and brighter. And one of the things that happened was I was happening to watch CNN, I was watching news, and all of a sudden they were like, Iran was attacking Israel on one odd day. And then I noticed that there was one set of drones that left, and then there was another set of drones that left. And then I realized something quite fascinating was that if you're looking at the motion sensors that I need for the street lights, I could use some of that technology in terms of drone technology. And these guys are manufacturing these things at $50 US per unit. And Israel's got these like $1 million Iron Domes. So I think random opportunities, random moments in which you are like confronted with the problem provide so many solutions. So, for example, I am making a plan to go to Iran soon, but as everyone knows, there's a problem in Iran right now. But it's an opportunity because I think then you can manufacture and you can produce and you can own a pipeline in ways that are affordable and reasonable. But also, there's a history of these things, especially in South Africa, that countries under sanctions are more enterprising in terms of some of the things that they do in terms of usage of technology and. So I think for me, the biggest thing to answer the question has been controlling the pipeline and the value chain and moving from sales and distribution to manufacturing and production. And you being willing to go out there in very difficult environments. I've never been to Iran. I'm going soon. I'm just waiting for the bombs to stop and to die down a little.
Hey, we're
But
gonna pray for
I
you.
will go. But there's an opportunity there. And I think for me, I think that's the transition from moving from being dependent on a pipeline that you don't own to one in which you can potentially own and navigate and patent and think about more innovatively. And then I think just quickly on the sideline has been this thing also about the fact that like currently we're working with like epoxy resin tables, we're manufacturing, we're also doing wooden decks. So I think I'm also moving into a space where I'm all about production as opposed a practical product beyond service in which we can actually sustain, have a value chain and be able to grow your business. So I think that's what I'm navigating right now.
All right, those are some good points. I want to say that Sister Wanda and Ben, you have given me so many points that I'm already doing some research right now. So that's really good. So I hope that the people who are tuning in are taking notes because Sister Wanda dropped a jewel on you far as Alibaba. If you don't know what that is a good resource. A lot of people use it in the States as well, but it takes forever to get to them. You have to pay so much money to get your shipment. But because China frequently ships to Tanzania, it's a lot easier to get all the containers or whatever you need for whatever business you're doing. So if you're creating a product, you can, order those things. But Ben, I mean, you hit on shifting from And I think this is something that we have always talked about within our circle is, service to manufacturing. How do we take advantage of that? Like, how do we get to that point? So I'm hoping that hopefully what you said resonated with someone in the community, in the diaspora community, and they want to either partner with you or at least help out with what you're doing. So me and you actually supposed to have some conversations. So we definitely gonna have some side conversations soon. All right. So Sister Evelyn, I see you, but I don't see. All right, let me try
Soon,
to add them back.
definitely. We're having
Well,
conversations soon.
let me add something to that, because when I initially came, manufacturing was definitely something on my mind, and I just want to say to whoever is in the audience, if you can start and manufacture anything, just about anything, you will do very well in Tanzania. There's so many things that are brought in from the outside and raises the cost. So I'm talking about anything that you can manufacture will be a plus. So if you can make that plan before you come, that you're going to manufacture something, from food products to, as the young man said, solar products, any product, and you will also create jobs. It'll be a win-win for you.
Yeah, they love you when you can create employment. So I definitely. So that's another thing we need to focus on, creating employment. All right, Sister Evelyn. So oh, Miss Marie, Mr. Clyde, y'all ready for question number 2? All right.
We'll be ready if we stay put. The internet is going in and out. We're struggling
Okay.
over here. If we go, then, but Claude, you want to go, Claude?
Okay, well, coming over to Africa, you have to come with your skill and be willing to creative. Because the opportunity is here. You just have to see the needs, what the people.
Okay, I think they went out again. Am I the only person that's not hearing them? Or is it everybody?
I can't hear him.
You can hear them or no?
No, I can't.
Okay,
No,
okay.
as I was saying, coming to Africa, you have to come with your skill set and you have to be creative. Because if you look at the needs of the people, then you can just come up. The opportunity presents itself. And when I first came here, I realized that food, the amount of money that we pay for food now, it was much less 2 years ago. So I realized that the demand is here for food. So I tap into that and I see it can be a success, because the problem I have is to produce the quantity to sell, but the market is no problem. And when you into economy that is growing, that opportunity always presents itself. And right now, I see where I can go in construction, because even some of these people promoting eco-village. I have the skill set to go in it and show people how it's done. Because I'm not going to take people money to build nothing. What I would do, I would build the house and then sell it to people. When people come, they see what they need. Not you taking people money and cannot deliver nothing. So if you have that kind of skill, can get a house built.
Okay, I think we lost him again, but I think he was saying if you have that skill and you can build homes for people and sell them, then that'll be good. So, me and Mr. Cotton, we have talked a couple times about how you could really create a development for diaspora people because the market is there. People are coming, and if you talk to the amount of people that we've talked to, they have invested thousands of dollars into Tanzania, and they have nothing to show for it because they invested with the wrong people. So, I mean, it's sad at the same time, but it's also a learning opportunity, you know. And if you're dealing with righteous people, they're gonna do what they say they're gonna do for you. So it's better to deal with people who can build it on their own and then bring you into what they've already built. Instead, like Ben said, instead of like focusing on getting loans from people, you know, we know some people don't mind getting loans because sometimes their reason for getting loans or getting money from people, they're going to take it and do whatever they want with it and not do what they agreed to do with the money. But it's a company in Ghana. I've been following them for probably about a year and a half now. He was a contractor in the States. He developed a community. He builds the home to finish. He includes all the appliances, everything in. He's making every brick on site. He finishes the home completely, and then you get a finished product and you get, you know, all the documents you need. So yes, he takes the capital from the people, you know, to pay for the home, but he has products that he finished homes that he can show you and finished homes that he can sell you. So it's just, you know, the opportunity is there for building. I know. I think that's what Mr. Cloud was going into. All right, Sister Evelyn, we're gonna pose the same question for you. So many diasporas speak about the importance of shifting from a survival mindset to a thriving mindset. So what strategies or mind shifts that you would recommend, or you think that is essential for understanding on the continent?
Okay. So I can only speak from experience. When I first got here, after about a year, I was like, you know what? Let me find somewhere else to go. Let's go to Kenya. Let's go let's try something else. This is not working. 2 years, I felt the same way. And then it's so funny you asked this question because I was literally talking about this today again. All of a sudden, I said, we have something here that we have already started. Just put my mind to doing whatever it takes for this burger business, for this farm to produce. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take. It doesn't matter, you know, what circumstances come my way. I just set my mind to working day and night, day and night. I come home from the farm sometimes 8 o'clock at night, but it doesn't matter because at the end, I want to see it produce. I
Exactly.
know it's a reason that I'm there doing what I'm doing, and I want to see it through. So it just all of a sudden it just came over me that no matter what, I wanted to leave my family, my children a legacy. You know, and it can't be all hard work for nothing. Eventually, you put in the hours and the time and the energy, something has to happen. Something has to happen. So I don't know. I guess that's what my mindset was. It just shifted. All of a sudden, it just shifted. Did I answer that question correctly? We can't hear you, Kaka. I can't hear you.
Oh wow, sorry.
It's okay.
um, no, I was saying that I think you answered it the way, you know, from your personal experience, just like everyone. So I think it was good.
All right.
I appreciate every response y'all give because y'all dropping gems for me to be taking notes. So I already know I'm learning. I'm in class. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll just move to the next question because we're moving right along. So the third question this is the final question for the people who are tuned in. So if you want to go back, we have a set of three questions, and each panelist answer each question, and then at the end we'll have closing remarks. So, Sister Wanda, so what advice would you give to aspiring diaspora entrepreneurs considering moving to Africa to an African country, particularly in terms of building sustainable businesses and establishing local partnership? And I know you touched on local partnership before, and I think we might have lost Sister Wanda just now. Let me see. I think we did. So Ben, I'm gonna pose this question to you. Question 3. So final question. And
No, definitely. Like Arthur, thanks. I think for me, it's really about understanding ideology and context. I think what tends to happen a lot is for various reasons. I think we're all different, but I think we really operate in a context in which it's capitalism, it's a liberal ethic. Sometimes it's religious, but when you get onto the African continent, it's a plethora. It's a myriad of different persuasions, viewpoints, ideological persuasions like socialism. By and large, if you think about African spirituality, if you think about the family unit in Africa, we're really about communal relations with each other. Often people talk about black tax. I think it's a big thing in South Africa where they talk about how you have to contribute to your family. But in other contexts, we're talking about white tax. And in white tax, we're talking insurance, so there's so many other dynamics, the class dynamics. I think one of the biggest things that's happened is that if in South Africa, for example, the association is that it's more westernized, more modern. But what you'll find is that that's why we're the most unequal society in the world, right? The highways are good. So many things look on the surface like they work, but by and large, very few people can actually access these systems, these resources, these networks, all these things that are taking place. And so again, it goes back to what Isha was talking about two economies existing in one, a parallel economy. So when you get onto the continent, for example, you need to be very conscientious about which system you're plugging into, which community you're plugging into, because it doesn't give you a holistic sense of what's taking place. Most of the time, like I remember when I was in Tanzania, when I met Arthur in Tanzania, huge frustration in relation to like the medical system. That, for example, if you're on chronic medication or you need particular tablets, or they're either exorbitant or they're not even there. And this thing of a brain drain, right? In terms of education, there was the school in Dar that actually shocked me. Like the school fees was $50,000 a year. So there's this community about like this diasporic community, this expat community that raises prices, that lives in a completely different ether and universe in relation to all of us. So there are these different lifestyles that are happening. I remember when we were living at Twin Towers, beautiful apartment complex in Dar es Salaam. We had a beautiful bay view. But what was incredible was that every time I went over onto the peninsula, onto the other side, some of those border drivers had never been. One of my border drivers, for example, I took him to a place that I took Arthur, but Arthur was not having it. He didn't like the place. It didn't resonate with him. But I liked the fact that it was good food. He didn't like the place, but I liked the fact that I could get food. I could get it in a way that I didn't have to worry. It was convenient for me. But my border driver had always driven past it, but the space was just inaccessible to him. So there are particular spaces based on class, gender, resources that you can't even access. And I think this happens in many African countries. And so I think one of the things we need to understand is that when you're in this environment, it's not necessarily going to work in terms of how you want it to work, but also you need to draw solace about what community you're looking for. If you're looking for a particular community, you can find that particular community. But you'll find that in an African continent, that community of like things working and things functioning, you pay for it and you pay a premium price for it. But those communities do exist. But I think ideologically, it's about how you want to navigate. It's what you want to do. But I think that by and large is something that I think people need to really take into consideration, that the context is different, the histories are different, where these people are coming from is different, and they also have their own forms of oppression, inadequacies, being kept out, being plugged out, being kept away from resources, being marginalized, oppressed, uneducated, really silenced. So I think those are the things that I think people need to understand and have really an empathetic ear and eye and consciousness in relation to coming onto the continent. So I think it's more about listening and learning. And I think once you listen and learn and plug in, there are many opportunities because there are many problems on the continent. Thanks. I think that's just my input.
Oh, my bad. That was good, man. Thank you, Ben. That was really good. I got a lot of notes from that as well. All right, so let's all right. It's not a delay for anybody. Okay, I think Sister Wanda is back in. So
Yeah,
Sister
I
Wanda,
got knocked out.
okay. So Sister Wanda, we on the third question. So what advice would you give aspiring diaspora entrepreneurs considering moving to an African country, and particularly in terms of building sustainable businesses and establishing local partnerships?
The advice I would give is so whatever business that you decide that you want to open or create here, and this is all across Africa, make sure that it caters to the locals as well. Because I noticed when I came in 2020, a lot of the businesses, especially like the restaurants and the boutiques selling clothes and jewelries and perfumes and stuff like that. You want to make sure that you cater to the locals, because if you're only catering to the diaspora, they come and go. That don't mean that they're going to be here. So even if you if you have a product that you cater to locals with, even if it's not a lot of money, if it's just a natural drink or some kind of local chicken or cuckoo or chips or something like that, if even if a few people, even if the price is not high, but you got like tons of people buying from you, that income can add up. So you don't always have to look at things that's like a massive project that you want to invest so much money in when you first come here, selling cars and all this stuff. When you have to put up a lot of capital, a lot of assets, you risking that at the beginning. Start off something small, like a little mini shop, sell some, find out what the locals like, see what they need. Like I was saying about Alibaba, and some things that I noticed that they don't have that will make their jobs easier. People who cut grass, service positions, you can probably provide like some tools that they might need. They'll buy. They go to the shops, to buy different stuff that they might need to fix stuff. So you can it could be like a shop, like a shop where they get tools from, a shop with tools that locals need when they, like foodies might need, or any local might need to fix stuff, because they fix a lot of stuff. And so it don't have to be like even some of these natural drinks and lotions and all that stuff, they use natural products here. So they may not buy these things that we buy. They may not buy this hair stuff, the skin stuff, when they use natural aloe vera off the tree. Like they may not need that type of stuff. So you have to consider that when you do those, when you try to bring those businesses here, like you would sell in the US. It's a different market. So if you try to market to a local based on what they need, you have to know what they need, what would make their jobs better, and market it that way. Then you also can develop partnerships with locals. They'll see that you want to help them, and you can get those conversations going, and they can even show you, hey, let's go to Kirikou. You can get this at this price. You can get more. They'll show you where you can get deals from when you're trying to help the locals, not only diaspora, and that's the small percentage of the people that can afford these things that we sell as diaspora. So for me, I know I do consultations, and my market is directly to those who want to come, but also I'm looking to expand, and I'm expanding on looking at, like I said, Alibaba. Look what they need: tool belts, or hammers, or wrenches, or they cut grass. A lot of them cut grass with the machete, maybe machetes. Like, you got to look and see what they need, and you can, even if you price it low, it's so many of them that need it. That will be a good business and they'll keep coming to you if you don't only want to sell in these items. So it doesn't have to be a lot of money. It doesn't have to be this massive project to start. You want to start off small and work your way up. So I feel like when you do that, then that'll be more those type of businesses will be more sustainable in the long run, because you start small and you can grow your business. So when you create a business, you have one partner here in Tanzania, you can open up to 4 businesses under that. If you got 2 partners, you can open up to 50 businesses under your company. For example, I went to the 6,000 T shilling store in Mikocheni, and when I was paying, they said they had a name of a restaurant. You know, Chinamen own that store. So it was like Lang Chong's restaurant. And I'm like, I told the lady, I don't think this is right, because it's saying a restaurant. And then the sister in the store said, yes, but this business is under the other one. So they use that one tax ID number for the first small business, and then they have other businesses underneath it, but it's still under that same tax number. So you can start off small with a tiny small business, and then if you want to open other ones under that one with more assets, then everything is going to be taxed through that first business. And so it's like, you just have to see how they do things here and learn, and then see what the locals need and incorporate that into your dreams. Like, you have dreams. I want to do a farm. I want to have this. Well, some people might have to start off with a garden, an organic garden on some small land, and then they can build up to buying a farm. So you don't have to come here and just spend so much money at the beginning. You can work your way up. So take your time, check out the environment, see what they need, because in the long run, if you cater to the locals, that's sustainability right there. So
hey, you hit that one out of the park. Good job. I mean, listen, y'all. Every time we do these panels, I feel like the Most High just give y'all these amazing points to have. I mean, yeah, that's on point. Y'all made me fill up. I'm on the second page, y'all. I'm on the second
thank
page.
you, Coach.
Yeah. Y'all doing a good job. I'm telling you, y'all doing a good job. And I don't like taking notes as much as I need to. All right, so Sister Evelyn, did you answer the third? Sister Evelyn, you haven't answered the third question yet. All right, so I'm gonna pose the same question to you. So what advice would you give aspiring diaspora entrepreneurs considering moving to an African country, particularly in terms of building sustainable businesses and establishing local partnerships? Let me see.
Okay.
I know
so
it's a long
for me,
question.
your staff. I don't care if it's 2 people, 1 person. Adjust your expectations for your staff. Train, and retrain your staff. And realize that who you have this month might leave, and you may have another person next month. Don't get so don't get so attached to a person that and this has happened personally. Don't get so attached to a person. You have this person so intricately wrapped up in your business that when they decide they want to venture forth and do other things, now you're up the creek. So adjust your expectations. Really work hard on your staff with training, and know that people will become like a revolving door. They'll come in and they'll go out until ding 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 you get the right people to stay with you long term. That's the piece of advice I could give anyone starting their business.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, y'all stay dropping gems. I'm just saying this is really good. And all the comments have been on point. I've been trying to get them on the screen. So I know Jamaican African Travels, Mr. Cloud and Miss Maria, having some issues with internet right now. So overall, the advice has been amazing. I'm gonna just touch on a few of the points that has been given by the panel. So their advice to the diaspora is coming with the open mindset, being positive, be open to learn from the locals. Use what they have on the continent to do your business. So find out what you can get shipped to the continent. Find out what you can source in that particular country or even neighboring countries to use. Move from a service mindset to manufacturing mindset. Um, the opportunities or obstacles creates a shift. So like being pushed into that next shift. So sometimes you come with a certain mindset and then you have to be pushed over that cliff. You know, I always say this too. I got this saying on my Instagram, the most high pushed me to fly. So, you know, sometimes you didn't want to fly, you know, you didn't want to get out there, but people back you into a wall or back you over that cliff and you have to just go ahead and jump out there. So create a pipeline. All right, create your own pipeline. Don't depend on, you know, another pipeline. This is another good one. I'm gonna quote this one, Ben. So random moments cause you to see opportunities. That's big. All right. So random moments do cause you to see the opportunities. Moving from sales to distribution. um, Mr. Clark said, come with the skills. You come with your skills, and then just be prepared to, you know, utilize those skills. Even though he didn't complete, you know, what he was saying, I just wanted to add that. This one is good. Be conscious of the systems or what systems you are connecting to. So sometimes you are connected to the wrong system, or you need to like recheck, you know, disconnect and reconnect, because sometimes you get connected with the wrong group of people and you constantly getting the wrong feedback. Like, let's use this as an example. A lot of diaspora we know in the retirement age have been getting swindled by different groups of people, because they want to retire and they want things to go smoothly. So they trust these young people. And I consider myself a young person as well, but they trust these inexperienced people and they put it in their hands because they see them young, motivated. One thing I know about the diaspora community, the elders really respect the younger people because they understand that it's gonna be us who like push everything forward. But it saddens me to know that, you know, the integrity is not there with some of the young people. But anyways, moving on. So decide how you want to navigate is one of the advice points, and do business that cater to local people and foreigners. Don't feel like you have to start a big business. You can start off with small products as well as, you know, you can move to bigger products. So I noted down supermarket. So I feel like diaspora need a supermarket that maybe, you know, maybe some people can partner on that. I don't know. I'm gonna just leave that where it's at. So start small and grow your business, like Sister Wanda said. um Sister Evelyn say adjust your expectations for your staff. I feel like that is important because you don't want to feel like, you know, nobody nobody will work, or you get super attached to certain people. I know me. Listen, when my friend passed away, and he wasn't just somebody who worked for me, he was actually a friend. We spent time outside of just him giving me rides and going places. Like, we got to know each other. I got to know his family, you know. But yeah, so you will go through those losses, man. And I feel like, anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. But all right, fam. So that is all the questions for the panelists. And I want to get closing remarks from everyone before you go. So if it's anything you want to put out there for, you know, the diaspora, if you are looking for partnerships, or if you just want to give your contact information or ways that people can connect to you. And look at Sister Betty. I thought she was just off the thing. I didn't even know you was on the thing. But Sister Betty, we're gonna get you to do some closing remarks as well. But
I'm still here. I would not abandon you guys and not let you know that I'm gone. I've just been listening to everybody. I really have,
okay.
and I really think that the information that everybody gave today was very important. Each one of them, each one of you, ladies and gentlemen, hit some things that I didn't even think about. But I do want to say this right here, and I'll make this my closing remarks, Coach White, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
I see everybody that's on the panel, everybody, all of you, ladies and gentlemen, have some wonderful, wonderful ideas. But this is the idea that I didn't hear from anybody that was here. I feel like each person on the panel, we ought to have more of a connection with each other than this panel. What Arthur called these panels. it would be great if we could come together as a significant group to some of the ideas that you are having on this panel today. What is keeping us from joining together with each other to come up with something to do together as some type of I don't know what to call it. Just say as we had some type of expose that we get together on, and we get together at a building somewhere and invite people or sell tickets or whatever to other entrepreneurs like ourselves, other diasporas like ourselves. We come together as a collective group and come up with some major ideas and things that we could do together. You on this panel together talking about some of everything, but where's the togetherness in this? And I do want to say this as far as togetherness and trying to be a community, a family, which we need so desperately, in Tanzania where we are now. I look at Jamaican African travels. I look at how we met them. Arthur met them, and then when we went down, me and my brother, we met them also, and the relationship that we have with that couple is amazing. It is amazing what they've done for our business, Origin Denial business. It's amazing what Clyde and Maria has brought to the table for us. I can't express that enough. How we how me, my son, my brother, Mr. Clark, and Miss Maria, how we came together as a collective community. We are actually building and helping each other in one way or another. We have a connection with this couple because without this couple, our business and what we're doing, it could not thrive without that couple right now. It could thrive, but it would be harder on me and Arthur for our business to really thrive without that couple and without the Most High being over them and guiding them to help guide us. So we don't have enough of the type of relationship that Maria and Clyde have with me and Arthur and his wife and my brother. We don't have enough of that. I'm talking about where you really, really trust them, where you really, really got your trust in the Most High, but He's in us to trust each other. So we benefit. We're feeding them. They're feeding us. We are actually feeding each other. Where is that at in your community? Where is this? Everybody on the panel and some of the people that are listening right now. All of you Hebrew Israelites, you want to be separate. Everybody want to be the chief. Everybody want to be the president. Everybody want to be the chief in the village. Where's the people that's working the village? Well, I feel like Clyde and Maria, they work the village. They're working the village because not only they're helping us, look how many people on on their shamba that they're helping, and then the people on our shamba that they're helping, Mr. Clyde and Miss Maria. Where is this other togetherness that we supposedly have? Where is it? We may help each other a little bit under the background, but I'm talking about this community that we want to build. See, I know that we're building the community, and we can only build that community through partnering. We are in partnership with Jamaican African Travels because not only are they helping us, they help us on the legal side too, even though they're not lawyers or anything, but they're helping us with what information that they have gathered over the 3.5 years that they've been there. So that those two people are able to help the diaspora that's coming over more than anybody that I've met. And I met some people when I was down there, but those two people there are genuine hearted. They're not crooks. They're not to beat you to get some information so they can go steal the information and go do something different. They're not out to beat you for your money so they can go build on their shamba. They are genuinely out there doing a service, giving a service. They're genuine out there doing that. And I don't think that us as a panel, I'm not sure if we all really recognize and understand the dynamics of this type of partnership, this type of business. I don't think because people just run their mouth. They have a YouTube channel 20,000, 15,000, 4,000, 2,000, maybe 1,000, but the majority of them are just running their mouths. Put your money and your experience where your mouth is. I don't believe that that's an apple tree if I never see an apple grow on it. But you're gonna be able to trick people and tell people, oh, that's an apple tree. We ain't never seen no apples growing. How do I know it's apple tree? It's got apple tree leaves, maybe an apple tree trunk, but you ain't never seen one apple produced on that tree. How are you so blind and delusional that you actually follow people because they running their mouth on a channel? They ain't never left America. They ain't never left Tulsa, Alabama, Texas. They ain't never left Orlando, Florida, but they got so much information on how to do and what to do on the continent when they ain't never jumped off a plane yet. How do you believe that? What makes you go ahead and call those people and say, I want to do a consultation with you? You say you grow apple trees. I know ain't no apples been on that tree in 4 years, but I'm still gonna do a consultation with you. And I've heard so many different horrible stories, but yet because your channel is big and this person bigging you up and that person bigging you up, you gotta be growing apples. But I ain't seen no apples. How delusional are you? Where's your discernment to believe that that's the apple tree? Because they around here dancing around and shoot, and you just believe it? Come on, family. So am I gonna believe that, or am I gonna believe somebody that I've been on their shamba? I've seen mango trees, I've seen pineapple, I've seen passion fruit, I've seen cassava, I've seen all this with my own eyes. Yet it's not big as that channel, so you're going by the big fruitless apple tree. Does that make sense? Why would you go pay somebody who is not producing one apple versus the people who got a smaller channel and they're actually producing fruit? So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Open your eyes. When you go on the continent, open your eyes, visit, talk to people, go talk to the chief yourself, talk with somebody up under the mango tree, sitting on a boda, just sitting on the ground. Go talk to those people and see what's going on around you before you just let somebody drive you. Oh, see that, but you can't get out and talk to them. Oh, see, that's the chief shackle Shama right there, but you can't talk to him. Oh, I'll talk to him for you. You never get your voice heard, but you'll go and spend your money and try to make roots for something that you really don't know what it is. So my advice to young people, anybody that's trying to do business in Tanzania, coming from America or what other country you're coming from, be wise. Look at the people, vet the people, talk to the people, and believe what you see and believe what is coming out of their mouth. If you only see a stick in the ground and they're telling you how to grow a mango field, you mean tell me you're gonna believe somebody who watering a stick versus somebody who got a tree? That's exactly what y'all been doing. That's what you've been doing. You're believing somebody because they stuck a stick in the ground. They came out there with a bucket of water, didn't even stand the stick up straight,
That's right, Miss Betty. That's right.
laid it in the ground, water on it. Couple over here got some trees with some fruit, with some fruit. You don't want to hear them because this couple with the stick in the dirt with the bucket of water, they talk fancier. They can talk. They present themselves as trailblazers. They're trailblazers because they got their stick in the ground and they got 50,000 followers. But these people over here got a whole tree with mangoes on it, and they got 2.4, 2,000.4 followers, subscribers. But just because that channel is bigger and they put a stick in the dirt, oh, they must know what they're doing. Know what they're doing. You are delusional. You are in a delusional state of mind. And I'm telling you, this group or that group or that group, they done stole this from this, and now they can present themselves and say, "Oh, they're stealing from me. They stole my idea. What is going on?" You believe that crying wolf? That's the little boy who kept crying wolf. Ain't no wolf out there. He just crying. Want you to hit that like button. But I'm telling you, young people. You better use some discernment. You better go and pray and trust in the Most High Yahuwah for guidance and understanding. Don't always follow what is big and what is popular.
Yes.
Don't follow
That's
what
true.
is popular because so many people are bigging up what is unpopular and they know that this is unpopular. They know it's not right, but they can't do anything because they don't want to shake their channel. They don't want to shake their channel. That's why they don't want me on their channels anymore. They don't want to shake their channels by telling the truth. How we following so many YouTubers who not telling the truth, and y'all know they ain't telling the truth, but yet you get on them channels with them, and you see them at the end of the channel still bigging up pure wickedness, deception, lies, and thievery. Don't follow the big channels. Don't follow the big crowd. You know that broad road leads you to what? Straight to hell. You better get on that narrow path and follow some truth. Thank you, family.
Yes.
Thank you, Pastor Betty. Thank you, Sister Betty. Okay, so Ben, we're gonna let you do your closing remarks. Any advice or anything that you're doing or anything you want to say for your closing remarks, man?
No, for sure. Thank you so much, Arthur. I think we should hook up soon. I'm still expecting in South Africa we need to go to Zimbabwe. So I think
We do.
that's what's happening. But beyond that, I think our website, if you want to see some of the work that we do with the community, theungovernable.org, the ungovernable being one word,
Okay,
.org.
I'll
If
post
you
it.
want to email me, it's ben@theungovernable.org. If you want to contact me on WhatsApp, it's +27 72607 2776. And then if you want to catch me on LinkedIn, it's Ben Tozana Mufiri Gapare. And then you can just see the whole profile in terms of everything that I've done or am doing. And I think that's about it. Thanks, Arthur.
All right, Ben. Thank you for coming. I'm gonna make sure I post your info underneath the video. I won't put your number on it, but I'll put your email and your website on there. All right. So, Sister Wanda,
But you
closing
need to
remark.
come, man. You need to come. I've been waiting.
I am.
Yeah?
Listen, I told you my mom got land in South Africa, and she need to go too. So we need to make our way over there.
So if your mom has land, so you got a place to stay, so you must come.
Well,
And my
it's
place.
nothing built there. Oh yeah, your place. We're gonna be at your place because it's nothing out there but a field. All right. So, Sister Wanda, you want to do your closing remarks?
Yes, yes. I want to say, so be it to Sister Betty. So be it. So be it. I also want to say that I'm learning being in these YouTube streets and online to I'm learning more to walk in silence with what we do, because remember we got frenemies, enemies, and friends, and everybody watching us online. So I'm with Sister Betty in that we should do more than talk, and we can. But for me, I actually been telling people, let's meet me at the cafe, meet me at this. I'm meeting people in person. So when you guys come, we can meet. We don't have to do everything online for everybody to hear our plans and projects here in the country, because we do have to move in silence, because unfortunately everybody is not always happy for you. Everybody
That's
ain't
true.
rooting for you. So even though we have this online panel and community is what we strive for, but we also know that only certain people are going to be able to be involved. So we have to move offline when it comes to meeting and planning and doing stuff like that. I'm for that, but not online as much as I used to be. So that's why I'm not going to be sharing my personal stuff with the land and all that stuff. I'll share when I'm in it, but I don't want location, all that. I'm not going to be sharing none of that, because I don't need people coming looking for me.
There you go.
People looking for you. And so we can do that. I'm with Sister Betty, Pastor Betty, with having a community getting together. When y'all get here, we can meet up for lunch or whatever. We can talk offline about some things, business, partnering, all that stuff. But some of that stuff we can't always put online. But also, people be trying to take your ideas. I'm just saying. They do. So unfortunately, we got to consider the audience that's watching. It's a lot. For example, my channel, I look at my and I'll stop after this, but I look at my analytics on my channel. I got like 3,000 subscribers. 900 of them are not subscribed to my channel. 900 watch my videos, but they're not subscribed to my channel. So this is what I'm saying. We got people watching us who they ain't for us. They ain't trying to add to the subscriber count and get you monetized, and they ain't trying to help you like that, but they watching you like a hawk. So This is where I'm saying we have to move in silence when it comes to the plans of the Most High for us, because you got the enemy trying to keep you from accomplishing and following that purpose and the plan that the Most High have for you in this country. He has a plan and a purpose for us here. We're here for a reason. So yeah, the moving in silence, we need to meet more in person. We need to not do as much online, but I'm for a community, but it's going to be with only certain people, vetted people, vetted people, and people that we are like-minded, willing to partner, willing to do business. We can do that. I'm for that.
Yep. I'm with you. We definitely with you on that. So yeah, thank you, Sister Wanda, for coming on, and I always appreciate all the wisdom. And I can tell you 100%, people will not know where we are located and where we laying our head at either. So that's so important. We with you on that, and I'm so happy to hear you say that, because that is where I'm at with it too, in light of all the stuff that be going on in Tanzania and on the continent. So yeah, I think that's great. All right, Sister Evelyn, closing remarks. Anything you want to share with us?
First of all, I'm in agreement 100% with Wanda and Miss Betty. I have decided a long time ago that the YouTube streets were not for us. I am always happy to extend my hospitality. Wanda has been in my home, that one-on-one or group visit is okay. But to be publicly announcing everything that you're doing, I'm gonna save that for for that one-on-one group gathering type of environment. That's where I thrive. But I'm always happy to share information. And for anyone that has any questions, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. So if you have questions about, how children are adjusting, just a variety, a range of things that I'm ready to answer. Number two, remember your why. Remember why you're here. And I think I mentioned this in the last live. Remember why you're here, why you felt the need to come to the continent, to uproot yourself, your family, to a whole nother environment. Remember why you did that when things get hard. And I think that's it for now. I don't think I have any other advice for anyone, but if you have questions, feel free to hit me up. That's it. Author, we can't hear you.
You're muted.
Yeah, I'm struggling, man. I'm sorry. Sister Evelyn, thank you again. Thank you again for coming on and joining the panel. And thank you all the panelists. Dang, y'all. I was really getting into it and I was so mute. But I was going to read something before we ended, but I want to thank all the people who joined. We know we don't normally get a bunch of people that view it first, but we always get a good amount of people that watch the live after. So I think that, I know for a fact that people benefit from these panel discussions, because despite what people may say about us, we always look at those views. And if y'all look at my lives, I don't have a lot of followers, but we we haven't got less than 400 views on any of our lives that we've done so far. So, for the people, like Sister Wanda said, they may not be subscribed, but they are watching. We know for a fact they're watching. So, rather they tap in and leave a comment or like, we know that. And we also pray that even though you tapping in, we hope you take some of the wisdom and knowledge and advice that the panelists give you and that we just give you in general. So I think that's all I got as well. Let me see. I still can't find what I was gonna read because this laptop today has been like no good with internet. So, yeah, I can't find it, y'all, and I can't even get anything to load. So I had to use. I was gonna use my phone to read off of and use the laptop, but the laptop not working, so I had to use my phone. So yeah, either way, fam. Thank y'all again, panelists. We will do another panel discussion. We can go ahead and talk about the date right now because in the next panel discussion, we'll do a set of questions. And again, you share as much as you like, as little as you like. But I feel like it's important for us to keep doing it because we still need to help people who are trying to come and they may want to connect with you, maybe even just to get information. So I think it's very important. Let me see. I don't know how the 27th of October worked for everybody. So that's next month on the 27th. So almost a month from today. So I'll
Good
go
for
ahead
me.
and okay, Sister Betty, or Pastor Betty, sorry. Okay, she's struggling with getting her phone on mute. But we'll have some more panelists
I'm
on the
not
next.
struggling, Arthur. I was trying to say October the 27th. Is that our family day that we get together and pray?
Did you
October
set a date
27th.
already?
Yes, I did, and a menu too.
I thought you did the 20th.
Is it the 20th? I'm just asking. I'm not sure.
I truly don't know. All right, let me check the date real quick, y'all. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check the date. All right, I'm gonna check the date. Panel, y'all, just give me just one moment. Um,
I have a question for the young man that's on the panel. Are you selling the solar street lights here in Tanzania? Are you going to manufacture them here? Are you selling them here? Because I definitely need some.
you asked the same question that I was about to ask.
Oh, okay. Is he
Ben,
still there, Ben?
Ben,
So I could, yes. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Yeah, no, no. So I currently have in warehousing. So if anyone is interested, when Arthur comes, I'm going to make sure that he takes plenty and he flies back to Tanzania with him. But I think we are talking about potential collaborations with Arthur. But I do have them in warehousing here in the country. But if you do come to Johannesburg, I'm more than willing to give you some. But no, but I'm in Tanzania frequently, so
Okay,
I am planning on coming to Dar soon, and I'm
okay.
I
coming to.
need some
I'm planning on
too, brother.
coming. No, for sure, I'll bring you some.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then we'll try. Also, I'll also bring you some energy saving light bulbs. So when the lights do go out and there's a power cut, they still remain on for a substantial period of time. So you guys can test them out and just
Yes.
see. And just guys can see.
we
So like
definitely need
sometimes
that.
if the power's out for like about um 2 hours, they just dim, but you still
They're
have
still,
lights. At least you can see. So
yeah,
yeah, but Arthur will talk, and I think what Sister Betty was saying about collaboration. Let's collaborate. But yeah, I'm really interested in like
Absolutely.
practical things and products. But if you guys need
Absolutely.
some, Arthur, I will give you some.
Yes.
And if guys, and when I do come to Dar, I will forward anything. Yeah.
See, Ben,
Okay.
and can I ask one
this
more
whole
question?
business expo I was talking about. You see, and it's
Yes,
happening right here now because
right
just
now.
imagine when you do come back to Tanzania. Look how many people that we know, from the diaspora. Look how many people that we
Yeah.
know that are definitely needing that lighting. Miss Maria, Mr. Clyde, and we
No, no,
need
no,
it on our campus.
definitely.
So that's just
And
a
then I
beautiful
was talking to
idea.
Arthur as well. I was talking to Arthur as well about tuk-tuks. You know, the borders that you have, the tuk-tuks in Tanzania. We're really thinking of like solar batteries, so solar powered tuk-tuks, you know. So I think that's something that we need to talk about more frequently. But like, I also feel like, especially with some of the things that we're doing, you know, if it's practical, if it's a product, you know, it's competition, let's compete, you know. But that's something that we
Absolutely.
wanted to talk about and see, you know, because I think
Yes.
if we get a good battery and then we put them in rather than using like actual gas and petrol, you know, and people can
Yes.
commute and people can, and then get a good trailer at the back in order to transport your stuff. So I think that's something that we're working on quite seriously.
Well,
Okay.
can I ask you one more question? Because, you know, right now, Shamba is like, I want to create an environment where everything can be worked without actually connecting into the grid. Now, eventually I will be on the
Yeah.
grid, but if I have the experience now without being on the grid, that will be really good. So that's why I asked about the solar lights. Currently, we're using solar panels to light the interior and a few other things. I also happen to hear you say and mention about epoxy. I have been researching and looking for epoxy flooring for the for my house. I almost said that in Swahili, that I want to construct. So, it, are you having that service here in Tanzania,
Yeah.
or it's not here yet? Did I lose him?
Yeah.
I think it's a delay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Ben, we can hear you now.
Uh-oh, he's reconnecting.
Oh yeah, you could tell it was going out.
Okay. Yeah. But you know, the epoxy flooring is even cheaper than tile, and it looks amazing.
Yeah,
What
that's
is
big everywhere now.
What is
Epoxy
that, Evelyn?
flooring. It's called epoxy flooring. It literally looks like marble flooring. They can do it so nicely. It looks like marble flooring, and it looks like tile, the same like if you buy tile, but it's a fraction of the cost.
And they do it
So
right over the concrete.
I need that info too, Evelyn.
so this all the stuff that he mentioned, like I had already been researching. So when he said, "Oh, and we're doing I was like, wait, okay." So
Partnership
exactly,
in business, Pastor Betty.
yes, exactly what Miss Betty said is exactly what we need to do. And my
It
big
is
sister
what we need
Sandra,
to do.
yes, and my big sister Sandra
Yes.
from Tiarity Tribes, she also constantly talks about, I don't know if y'all know Sandra or not, but she constantly talks about how we should have like an expo and come together and just meet
Well,
up
we don't
and just
know her, Miss Sister Evelyn. We don't know her, but she can definitely come to our expo in December.
okay.
Oh, we doing
Yeah.
an expo?
Connect in December.
Yeah, we
we
doing
can
an expo
meet
in
in
December.
person.
Yes,
Yeah, we doing an
that'll be
expo
great.
in December, so we can just go in and set
Yep.
that now. That'll give
Yep,
everybody
that's the
enough
stuff we got to
time.
do in person.
In
Yes.
Okay. Well,
person,
it'll be a small
meet.
invitation only expo
Yes, invitation.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
look private.
Completely, I get you.
So we already
Not
got a rental space as well, y'all. We have a place that we can do our private meeting as well.
All praises.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Arthur, when he comes back, or if he can answer those questions that
I
I
think he's
asked.
back right now. Hold on, let me add him back
Okay.
in. Yeah, there he is. Hey Ben, is your sound good? Because Sister Evelyn was asking if you were gonna eventually do epoxy flooring in Tanzania, or if you already had connections there already. I think he's still getting connected.
Okay. It's fine either way. It's not a problem. He can answer the question later.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not a
Yeah,
problem.
the connection is still bad. Okay, so Sister Evelyn, I'm gonna send you his number and
Okay.
WhatsApp.
All right.
And then I'm gonna have him give me his email and his website and stuff again so I can post it. All right, fam. So it's been nice to talk with the panel, and I'm at the gym, so I'm actually gonna get off the laptop and actually do a workout.
Okay, then y'all have a good day and us a
Y'all
good
have a
night.
good day, and thank you
Okay, y'all
all
have a
for
good one.
joining.
All right,
See
y'all.
y'all
Thank you for
soon.
inviting
Bye.
me.
Yes, thank
Bye.
y'all. Bye bye, y'all. All right, I'm trying, y'all. I'm struggling.